Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You guys, it's been a minute since I filmed a sit down video for this channel, and you guys, I can explain, life has been lifing. But not to worry, I'll be back into filming for YouTube very soon, like filming for this channel very soon. So let's get into it. I got a couple of questions on this channel asking me to discuss and explain to you guys how I was able to combine being in pharmacy school and sewing. And if you have followed this channel for a while, you will know that I made dresses and clothes commercially when I was in school. She are blocking lights for her. So on this video, we'll be talking about how I was able to learn how to sew, when I learned how to sew, how I was able to combine sewing and pharmacy school, and what you need to know if you want to go into fashion as a pharmacy student or as a university student in Nigeria in general. Before we get into this video, outfit check. I'm wearing the first ever bustier top that I made. Okay, yeah, this is the first bustier top I made when I was still learning how to sew. So that's what I'm wearing for this video. Let's get into it. I learned how to sew lockdown extension. Lockdown extension is like immediately after the 2020 COVID break, we had ASU strike going on, and my school was one of the schools that were affected. So it kind of extended the lockdown break for us. So that was when I learned how to sew. Background story, I had this friend that we always like brainstorm on things to do to get money, not depending on our parents entirely. And I remember that time I know how to make braids and all those stuff, all back and things like that. I also knew how to make wigs. So I wanted to buy a sewing machine so that I can use it to sew wigs and make money from providing that services. I remember I did something that gave me a considerable amount of money that period, and I ordered sewing machine from Jumia, and that was like my first sewing machine. I ordered from Jumia. Do you know Jumia? I don't know. Don't worry. Let me just do my video. I ordered my first sewing machine from Jumia, and before the sewing machine got to Nigeria, there was the COVID break. So I was not able to start the whole wig making business. COVID happened, we were at home. I was waiting for my machine to arrive in Nigeria. Before it got to Nigeria, I remember one of the days I was bored, so I went on YouTube. I've always been like a YouTube person. So I went on YouTube, I just typed how to make bra, how to make pants, how to make inner wears, how to make lingeries and all those kind of things. So I followed one of the instructions. There was this fabric we had in my house. I used one of the instructions on YouTube. I cannot remember the exact video I used, but I was able to make like a bralette and a skirt to go with it, like a two-piece. So I took a picture on it and sent it to my friend. I was like, since I already ordered a sewing machine and we are yet to get people that will be able to sell lingerie to us, why not I just sew them, because I literally used needle to sew this one I'm putting on. And he was like, oh, this is nice, you made this with by hand stitching, this is beautiful, try to improve your skill within the COVID break so that once we get back to school you can sew and do your own custom made something, start up your own lingerie brand or something. So I was happy when they lifted the COVID-19 lockdown. School did not resume. I told my parents, I've forgotten what I told them, sha, but I needed to be in Nsukka. So I traveled to Nsukka, carried my sewing machine, and went back to my father's house. When I got to my father's house, trust African parents too. My mom was going on and on how I'm wasting money, and my dad was also going on and on how I'm wasting money. Because tell me why my dad was like,
You like wasting money. You do something, you get money, you use it on buy things that you don't even need. Why did you buy sewing machines? What are you doing with it? You just like wasting money. You're not financially smart. Wah, 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 wah.
so I kind of told my dad that I did not just order this thing for ordering sake. I ordered it because I wanted to be making wigs. And the second thing I also ordered it for is because I wanted to start making lingeries and selling. Muna! explained to him that I did not just buy this thing, the way you and your wife is going on and wasting money. I bought it because I wanted to, start sewing lingeries and innerwears and reselling them instead of buying and selling. He now told me, instead of just making lingeries and limiting yourself to innerwears, why not just go to a fashion school and learn how to sew? Because we don't even know when they are ending this strike. And then my mom was like, fashion school is 6 months program, you cannot do it. There's this church member of ours, she makes really nice clothes, she stays down the road. I can just meet her, talk to her, so you'll be coming to her shop, and be learning small small. Because if you go to a fashion school now and you finish paying all that money, and you are not able to finish the fashion school, because once they call off the strike you are going back to school, why not just go to the woman's shop and learn as much as you can? I was like, okay. The next day, my parents thought I came here to play. The next day, I stood up, I wore my dress, I went to the auntie's shop. I told her, auntie, good afternoon, good evening. And my mom said I should come here. I don't know if you take apprentice and stuff like that. She was like, it's my mom that will come. She gave me a list of things to bring to register and all those stuff. She's like, that my own advantage is that anytime I come back from school, I'm always open to come to her shop and learn. That was how I did it though. My parents went to meet her. We went to do the agreement thing where you bring malt, drinks, and all those kind of things and come. And I started learning. Luckily for me, it was that September, October period. And September, October, November period is like very busy when it comes to fashion and stuff. People are making outfits for burial, ashrebi, owambe here and there. People are doing their marriages during the Christmas, so there is like a plenty of sewing, Christmas clothes, all those things. People were sewing a lot during that period. So when I got there, I started learning, and that was how I learned. And I remember the strike ended sometime in December, and then we resumed school fully by January, February of the next year. So I had from like October, November, December. So I learned for 3 months. But just so you know, I feel like why I learned as much as I did was because I was really like dedicated to the craft. After of times of going there, I was like, there should be something here. Oh, this thing is very interesting. And that was how I picked interest in sewing. It was not like a passion project for me in the beginning, but somewhere in the middle, it became a passion project. So like I was like, okay, there's something here. I never knew I liked dressing till I started sewing. So that was it for me, and that was how I learned. I learned for 3 months, and school started January, so I went back to school. But when I went back to school, I continued sewing. Some people will see a skirt I'm wearing or a jean, it's just something I'm wearing. They're like, I like it, or I'm like, I made it and stuff like that. I got a business name. I started advertising. I was getting few jobs here and there. I was doing it, delivering, learning in the process, learning in the job, because literally that was what it was. I was learning on the job. Some of the styles I went on YouTube, searched for it, followed the instructions. Some of the instructions failed, some of them worked. But one thing I knew was that I was passionate about the art, and that was how I learned. Yeah. Now to the part where I talk about how I was able to combine sewing and pharmacy school. Now I was in third year. I didn't start sewing like a first year or second year student. I was in third year. It just made sense because in third year you have met most of your lecturers. You have written at least one or okay, you have written at least one professionals. So when it came to exams and stuff like that, I think I knew what to expect as a third year. I also understood my study routine, and I also understood like my classes and stuff like that. I was already familiar with the university environment as a third year. So I was able to, combine, make out time, and, schedule my life. So from that third year when I started sewing till I graduated, I had a schedule. And those schedule like revolved around me being a pharmacy student. because I'm not going to take up a project from somebody when I should be in class. I just knew I was prioritizing my pharmacy education over the sewing. And that's one thing I would like to say in this video. You cannot do sewing and pharmacy 50-50. At some point, sewing is going to be like 70 and pharmacy 30. And at some point, pharmacy is going to be like 80 and sewing 20%. That's it. You can literally not do it 50-50. There's no 50-50. But one thing I did was to prioritize my pharmacy classes. I went for classes when I had to. I went for practicals when I had to. I studied when I had to. And when I had a little bit of time, I did the sewing. And you have to be honest with yourself. For somebody who wants to go into fashion as a student, you have to be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. Know your schedules, know your lecturers, know how your classes go, know how your questions go. There are times during the day when you don't feel like reading. In fact, even if you read at that point, nothing is entering. Do you get? So like that's the whole point. I will take projects beginning of the semester, but once it starts getting close to my test time, my exam period, I stop taking projects. And God helped me. I think it was only my final year that was when I made outfits for people during exam period, and that was because I had lesser courses. Number one thing is prioritizing your education over sewing. Number two thing is understanding your schedule. Schedule your sewing project around your education. You don't take projects during your exam time. You don't take on new clients during exam periods and stuff like that. Another thing I did that kind of helped me combine my sewing business and pharmacy school was immediately the semester starts, I start reading. So once the semester starts, I start reading. I don't pile my materials till the end of the semester. No, I don't do that. As much as at the beginning of the semester, you're still trying to adjust, you're trying to get familiar with the new class and section and all those stuff. I also start reading. Like immediately I get material page one, I'm reading it. I'm not keeping it to like next week, because there will be a time where in one day you have extra 5 to read. So if I have like a little knowledge on what the material says, if I'm familiar with the material, it will be easier for me to study during exam period. So I kind of start reading immediately the semester starts, and every opportunity I get, I just use it to read. Another thing I did was to cut down on some social activities. If there's a social activity in school, there are no classes and stuff like that, and I know I've already used the time I'm supposed to use and study to make dresses, and that social activity is not compulsory. Like if I don't go, nothing will spoil. I'll just stay at home and use it and study. And being that I start studying immediately the semester starts, it kind of helped me, because when it was exam period, I am familiar with some of the topics. I'm not seeing the materials for the first time. I'm not seeing the handouts for the first time, and it kind of helped me balance my pharmacy and my fashion business. Another thing that I did that I think you guys should know is that for my pharmacy not to suffer, I rejected some projects. They were like some people that will bring dresses for me to make, and I'll be like, I can't make it within the time frame you are giving me. So if you can't wait to work with my own schedule, then you should as well give it to somebody else. It's really hard because I know I needed the money. I know I need the money, but at some point you have to always prioritize your pharmacy education. So if you want to go into the fashion business as a pharmacy student or as a university student in general, I would say you should go to a fashion school. If you have the time, you should get into a fashion school, because like that's where you get the real skill. I feel like that's where you get more skills by going to a fashion school, if I'm being very honest with you. But if you can't afford to get into a fashion school, or you don't have the time, or the only time you have to, do the whole practicing and learning how to sew is during your holiday, you can check out somebody around your area that sews very well, and you can be going there during your breaks, like within the semesters. You can be going there during your breaks to, learn and also try to upskill. How I was able to upskill was by practicing. I practice and practice and practice and practice. I'm a very creative person, so that's like a plus to me. So I kind of did a lot of practice, and YouTube channels also helped and stuff like that. You need a sewing machine. That's like your starting point. You need a sewing machine. And if you're in the hostel, it might be hard for you to get the regular manual sewing machine. You can consider getting a tabletop machine. Yes, a tabletop machine if you stay in the hostel, and a manual or still a sewing top machine for somebody off campus. I think what you need is your sewing machine, your scissors, and your tape, and your drafting paper. Drafting paper very important because you are very new and you have to practice some things on the paper before you can cut fabric, so you don't waste fabric. Fabrics are expensive these days. And if you learn how to sew, please put yourself online, put your work online. You can get clients online, do flyers, advertise yourself among other students. Is very important so you can be able to get jobs. Okay, where am I right now? Munachi. So where am I right now? Sometime in my final year, I started a YouTube channel, a sewing tutorial channel, where I upload videos on how to sew, and that has been it. I don't want to stop sewing entirely because now being a pharmacist is very demanding, and I want to go through that career path and try to do my best. So I started the sewing tutorial channel, so at least I can make dresses for myself and still teach people how to make those dresses. That's just where I am right now. Maybe sometime in the future, I can find a more balanced way of combining my pharmacy career and sewing. But for now, I don't have like a permanent location yet. I have not settled down in any location yet. So the most and the best I can do is to sew from my father's house. Yes, it's to sew from my father's house. Depending on when and where I get my internship, I can move there and consider taking fashion more seriously. Sewing is a very beautiful thing. Combining it to your pharmacy career. I had pharmacy classmates in school then that also made dresses. So put yourself out there and learn how to sew if you want to learn how to sew. You can literally just make dresses for yourself. You don't have to do it commercially and stuff like that. Just do you, but make sure you plan your whole sewing situation around your academics so that your academics doesn't suffer. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comment section. Oyamuna, come and introduce yourself because you have been interrupting my video since. Okay, you guys, smile now. Smile for my YouTube people. This is your highest smile. So this is my baby Muna, and he has been interrupting our video, by the way. But with this, we have gotten to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Where are you now? Where are you going to that side? Oh yeah, tell them to subscribe to my channel. Oh yeah,
Subscribe to our channel.
they should like.
You should like more videos that she puts.
Okay, so you guys, people heard him. Subscribe to my channel, like, ask your questions in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Tell them bye.
Adios.
Adios.